he doesn't have that discrimination also. Deya deya vimarshako nahinava kala pratiksha prabho. Deya adeya, should I give him or not? He doesn't discriminate. He'll just give. Kalaha pratiksha prabho, is it the right time or not? He doesn't see timings also. Anytime he can give. Deya deya vimarshako nahinava kala pratiksha prabho. Sadyo yaha shravane kshana pranamana dhyanadhina durlabham datte bhakti rasam sa eva bhagavan gaurah param me gati. So what is inaccessible or rarely accessible through many other processes of bhakti, including Shravana, Darshana, Kirtana, etc. Mahaprabhu is giving it very many other processes of bhakti. Sadyoyaha Shravane Kshana Pranavana Dhyanadina Durlabham. By meditation it is not possible. By seeing it's not possible. By hearing it's not possible. But he is just making it possible by his mercy. Right? Datte Bhakti Rasam. He is just giving Bhakti Rasa, which is very, very rarely attainable. Sa eva Bhagavan Gaurah Param me gati. That Gauranga Mahaprabhu is my gati. He is my only shelter, only goal. Because without any discrimination, he is distributing the holy names of Krishna and Krishna Prema. Apart from distributing Krishna Prema through Krishna Nama, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also has given 4 transcendental gifts to us. Prema namadbhutarthaha Shravana pathagataha kasya namna mahimnaha Ko veta kasya vrinda Vana vipinamaha madhurishu pravesha Ko va janati radham Paramarasa chamatkara madhurya simam Ekas chaitanya chandraha Paramakarunaya sarvama vishchakara. So Prabodhananda Saraswati says, Prema namadbhutartaha. Who would have ever understood that the adbhuta artha, the best goal of human life is prema, Krishna prema, without Lord Chaitanya's mercy? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made everyone understand that the goal of human life is this Panchama Purushartha, Krishna prema, attaining Krishna prema. Prema namadbhutartha. How can you attain that? By chanting Krishna Nam. So Nam is very easily chanted. The easiest process is to chant the names of the Lord, and Prema is the highest goal. So with the easiest process, he is giving us access to the highest goal. That is his mercy, right? Ko veta kasya vrinda vana vipinamaha paramarasa chamatkara madhurya simam. Who would have understood that Srimati Radharani is the epitome, the limit of conjugal love, Madhurya Prema for Krishna, without Lord Chaitanya's grace? Nobody could have understood the glory of Srimati Radharani. In fact, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's form is a testimony for Radha's love for Krishna. Krishna appeared in the mood of Radharani and took the form of Lord Chaitanya. That is a testimony. That's a proof that Radharani is the topmost devotee of Krishna. Krishna wanted to experience the emotions of his devotee. And amongst all the devotees, Srimati Radharani is the topmost. Therefore, he accepted her mood. Right? So that's a testimony for her love. Who would have ever understood the glories of Srimati Radharani without Mahaprabhu's descent? Ko va janati radham paramarasa chamatkara madhurya simam ekas chaitanya chandraha paramakarunaya sarvama vishchakaraha. It is Chaitanya Chandra only. Out of his Parama Karuna, Sarvam Avishkara. He has launched everything, all these 4 gifts to us. First is Prema, second is Nama, third is Vrindavan, Dham, then 4th is Radharani. He introduced us to these 4 divine, transcendental privileges, right? Access to these 4. So, this is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood. To distribute Krishna Prema, to distribute Vraja Prema, to introduce us to Vrindavan Dham, to introduce us to Srimati Radharani, while he privately, personally, confidentially experiencing the mood of Srimati Radharani, relishing the mood of Srimati Radharani, especially the feelings of separation of Srimati Radharani. Krishna is experiencing the feelings of separation from Srimati Radharani. Krishna experiencing feelings of separation from Srimati Radharani in Dwarka. And Radharani is experiencing feelings of separation from Krishna in Vrindavan. Right? So now Jagannath Puri is that dham that brings both of them together. Now let me, after discussing a few shlokas, let me just get into little storyline. How did Jagannath Ji's form manifest? Lord Jagannath Ji manifested when Krishna became absorbed in the mood of separation from Vrindavan Dham and especially Srimati Radharani, isn't it? All of you know that story? That all the queens of Krishna once came to Mother Rohini and requested, Rohini Mata, can you please narrate Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes to all of us? Because Krishna is always remembering Vrindavan, all the Vrajavasis, Gopas, Gopis, cows, calves, Radharani especially, Yashoda Mata, Nanda Maharaj, all the while, even in his dreams, even in his sleep also, he's remembering them only. So we are very curious to know all those pastimes because you have personally witnessed all those pastimes by being present in Vrindavan. Please narrate. So, and Rohini Mata started narrating, and Subhadra was there at the door to guard so that Krishna and Balram wouldn't enter there. But Subhadra Mata also became very curious to hear this pastime. She was peeping inside the door and hearing what Rohini Mata was saying. Meanwhile, Krishna and Balram came. They went on both sides of Subhadra, and by hearing Vrindavan pastimes, they became so ecstatic. Their eyes became very big. Their smile became very big. Their hands and legs melted into their bodies. So they manifested Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra forms. So in short, Jagannathji's form is a form that Krishna manifested in separation from Vrindavan Dham, in separation from Radharani, in separation from Vrajavasis, in separation from Gopis. So the form of Jagannathji is a form of separation, right? Now, let's come to Vrindavan once. When Krishna was leaving Vrindavan with Akrura, all the gopis of Vrindavan were feeling intense separation from Krishna. They were begging Krishna, please don't go. They were begging Akrura, please don't take. They were begging Balram, please stay back. But they did not stay back. They went. All the gopis headed by Srimati Radharani, they sang their song of separation called Viraha Gita. They were absorbed in intense feelings of separation, and after many years, they finally got to meet Krishna in Kurukshetra. It was in Kurukshetra that Radharani finally saw Krishna. But she did not see Gopal Krishna. She saw Dwarkadhish Krishna. Gopal Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna is surrounded by cows, calves, gopas, gopis, peacocks, butterflies, deer. But Dwarkadhish Krishna was surrounded by chariots, elephants, horses, and soldiers, kings. He's in a very majestic form. So Dwarkadhish form of Krishna is characterized by grandeur, majesty, opulence, while Krishna's form in Vrindavan is characterized by simplicity, innocence, sweetness. So Radharani is accustomed to see this form, but she could not handle that form. And Srimati Radharani started pulling Krishna's chariot within her heart to Vrindavan Dham. And that's what Ratha Yatra, that many of us know. Now the significance of Jagannath Puri Dham here is that Krishna, in the mood of separation from Radharani, became Jagannathji, we have seen. And that Jagannathji form manifested in Jagannath Puri Dham. Then Srimati Radharani was absorbed in feelings of separation from Krishna. Now that Radharani took the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Right? Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Srimati Radharani in separation from Krishna. And who is Jagannathji? Jagannathji is Krishna in separation from Radharani. Krishna absorbed in feelings of separation from Radharani, and Radharani absorbed in feelings of separation from Krishna. They both came together. That is Jagannath Puri Dham. That's a speciality of Jagannath Puri Dham, isn't it? Actually, the feelings of separation that are experienced by that were experienced by the gopis of Vrindavan and especially Srimati Radharani were so nicely depicted by Sukadeva Goswami in Srimad Bhagavatam, and many other acharyas also describe those feelings. Radharani is experiencing intense pain. She's fainting. She said, I cannot live without you, Krishna. I will die. Many things she said. Her intense feelings of separation were very elaborately described by the acharyas. But Vishwanath Thakur in 10th canto, I think 42nd to 44th chapters, in those purports, Vishwanath Thakur writes in Sarartha Darshini commentary that Krishna secretly wept in separation from Vrajavasis and Radharani when he went to Mathura. When he was happily touring Mathura city, Krishna was looking at the faces of all these women in Mathura, just in search of faces that resemble the gopis, right? Which woman depicts or reminds me of gopis of Vrindavan? So that's how he's looking at them. Apparently, it seems that he's enjoying the grandeur of the city of Mathura, but internally he was weeping. He was in intense feelings of separation from Krishna. The only person he could relate with in Mathura is Balramji definitely and Rohini Mata. That's all. But all others are new. Suddenly this 10-year-old boy was brought out of his home, this village Vrindavan, and people told him, these are your new parents, Vasudeva and Devaki. This is your new home, this big palace. These are your servants. It's a totally new world for Krishna. He just could not handle it, right? He called Uddhava once and said, Uddhava, please go. I'm feeling homesick. I am feeling intense separation from all the Vrajavasis, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda Mata, and especially Gopis and Radharani. Please take my message and give them. So Krishna had sent Uddhava, and Uddhava went and had a discussion with all the Vrajavasis and brought that news to Krishna. And Krishna, for several months together, he was hearing from Uddhava all the reports of Vrindavan Dham. So Krishna is also feeling intense separation from all the Vrajavasis. He is missing them so much. So in that mood of separation from Vrajavasis, mood of separation from Radharani, Krishna manifested this form of Jagannathji. Now, Srimati Radharani, apparently, she is not aware of how much Krishna is suffering in separation from her. Although internally they are aware of each other's feelings, but externally, physically there is a separation, right? Krishna is sitting in Dwaraka, Radharani is sitting in Vrindavan, and Srimati Radharani's intense feelings of separation from Krishna were not visible to Krishna who is sitting in Dwaraka, externally speaking. Similarly, Krishna was absorbed in intense feelings of separation from Srimati Radharani while sitting in Dwaraka, and those feelings of separation experienced by Krishna were not physically visible to Radharani sitting in Vrindavan. Now Jagannath Puri is that place, that dham, where these two feelings are manifested in front of each other. Radharani took the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, Krishna took the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he was absorbed in the mood of Radharani. So who is Mahaprabhu? Actually, Radharani only. Mahaprabhu is Radharani himself, right? Because he became completely absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radharani and feeling intense separation from Krishna. That's inconceivable. We may not be able to understand Chaitanya Tattva without accepting the inconceivable potencies of Krishna. Now here is one person adopting the mood of another person, feeling separation from himself. Do you miss yourself anytime? We may get bored with ourselves, we don't miss ourselves. But who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna in the mode of Radharani, missing himself, feeling separation from himself. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. So in Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is completely absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radharani and feeling separation from Krishna and exhibiting those feelings of separation right in front of Jagannath ji standing next to Garuda Stambha. Now here, who is standing next to Garuda Stambha? Srimati Radharani. Or who is dancing in front of Jagannath's Rath during the Rath Yatra? Srimati Radharani is dancing. Mahaprabhu is dancing, but actually Srimati Radharani is dancing because Mahaprabhu completely became merged into her mood, her emotions. Now, this Srimati Radharani dancing in front of Krishna's cart, Jagannath's cart, is seeing Krishna in the mood of, Krishna in the form of Jagannath ji, feeling separation from Radharani. Now, here Radharani gets an opportunity to see Krishna is also missing me. And Krishna is seeing Radharani is missing me so much, right? So that's what is happening in Rath Yatra. So Rath Yatra is filled with these deep emotional expressions between Radha and Krishna. Now Jagannath ji says, Mahaprabhu says in the mood of Radharani, Kaviraj Goswami, while explaining these feelings between Mahaprabhu and Jagannath ji, he doesn't call Mahaprabhu as Mahaprabhu. He calls Mahaprabhu as Radharani only. He doesn't call Jagannath ji as Jagannath ji. He calls him Krishna only. Now this whole dialogue between Mahaprabhu and Jagannath ji became Radha Krishna conversation, right? So at one point he says, Mahaprabhu says, means Radharani says, you may be indifferent to us. At least look at the face of Srimati Yashoda Mata. Nagani apani dukha dekhi vrajeshwari mukha. You may not understand, you may not acknowledge my pain of separation from you. At least acknowledge the pain of separation of your mother and please come. And she is intensely pleading in front of Krishna. And Krishna says, do you really think that I'm indifferent to you? Do you think I can really neglect my mother, my father and all my beloved Gopas and Gopis? Do you really think so, Radharani? Please understand, please empathize with me. I have so many responsibilities here. I killed Kamsa, but there are many other demons like Jarasandha and all these people. So how can I leave that responsibility and come to you? So like that, Jagannath ji is specifying, means Krishna is specifying Radharani, and Radharani is coming with more blame. And then she is also saying, no, I should not blame you. Actually, you have a valid reason, but what can I do? I am unable to contain these feelings within me. So like that, there's long conversation. Maybe another time we can discuss all that. But in short, I wish to mention here that Jagannath Puri Dham is not an ordinary dham. No dham is ordinary, but the speciality of this Jagannath Puri Dham, especially for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, lies in these two, the feelings of separation of these two divine personalities, Radha and Krishna, manifesting at one place. So Krishna, absorbed in the mood of separation from Radharani, is Jagannath ji, and Radharani, absorbed in feelings of separation from Krishna, is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and they both are manifesting their feelings of separation in front of each other. And Krishna gets to know how much Radharani is feeling separation, and Radharani gets to know how much Krishna is feeling separation. And when they both together start empathizing with each other, they start understanding each other's feelings, the love for each other becomes even more enhanced. Already the love is infinite. That infinite love becomes, like multifold, and the prema for each other, reaches crescendo. That's what Mahaprabhu is exhibiting in Gambhira. He would just rub his face against the walls of Gambhira. He would suddenly miss from Gambhira, although all the three doors are closed from all sides and there are some guards there. Suddenly, he is seen next to Simhadvar. His body is so elongated. His limbs and his joints are disconnected. His entire body becomes like a bag of bones. And suddenly, he manifests in front of, in some Goshala or in the shore of the ocean. And sometimes he jumps into the ocean. Whichever water body he sees, he remembers Yamuna. Whichever hill or hillock he sees, he remembers Govardhan. When he just sees some plants and trees, he just remembers Vrindavan. He's so absorbed in the mode of separation, especially in the last 12 years of his manifest pastimes in Jagannath Puri. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is revealing to the whole world how glorious is the Krishna Prema of Vrajavasis. How glorious is the Krishna Prema of Srimati Radharani. And through his conversation with Ramanand Rai, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also revealed to all of us that Srimati Radharani is the epitome of Krishna Prema. So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's entire existence, especially in Jagannath Puri, especially in the last 18 years and especially in the last 12 years, is meant to purely glorify Srimati Radharani's love. And this is the highest sadhya for a devotee. Of course, a sadhaka who is still struggling to control one's senses, who is still affected by lust, envy, pride, greed, illusion, anger, cannot understand or decipher these ecstatic feelings of separation. But once in a while, occasionally, if we just remind ourselves what is the potency of a soul, to what degree a soul can experience love for Krishna, we need to remind ourselves of these wonderful emotional expressions during Ratha Yatra between Jagannath Ji and Mahaprabhu, or between Radha and Krishna. But for a conditioned soul still struggling with senses, the external reasons for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance become even more relevant for us. And it is this understanding and appreciation of the external reasons for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's descent that eventually take us to the internal reasons for his descent, right? Take us to the position where we appreciate the internal reasons for his descent, right? So, pure devotees are in separation from Krishna, and in separation from Krishna, they are completely absorbed in a remembrance of Krishna. But conditioned souls are also in separation from Krishna. Conditioned souls are in separation from Krishna, but they don't feel that separation. The separation between conditioned souls and Krishna is characterized by their forgetfulness. The separation between pure devotees and Krishna is characterized by their remembrance. As in the middle of the Gopi Gita, these gopis say, Tava kathamritam tapta jivanam kavibhiriditam kalmashapaham. In this shloka, they say, Tapta jivanam. Tava kathamritam, Krishna, your kathamrita is jivanam for all those people who are suffering. Tapta jivanam. Who is tapta? One who is suffering. Jivanam means life. So, Krishna Katha is the life-inducing nectar for all suffering souls. And the suffering souls are of two types. One is pure devotees, second is conditioned souls. So both are suffering in separation from Krishna. The 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam says that if we think we are suffering because of any other reason other than separation from Krishna, we are in illusion. The only reason for our suffering is because of being separated from Krishna. But conditioned soul doesn't realize that he or she is separated from Krishna. But pure devotee realizes that they are in separation from Krishna. In that feelings of separation, they intensely remember Krishna. Let's go to Ramayana for a moment. In Ramayana, we discussed a little bit of Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. Let's go to Ramayana for a moment. Ravana came and kidnapped Sita Devi, and Sita Devi is captivated in Ravana's Lanka. And realizing that Sita is gone, Ram is absorbed in a feeling of separation from Sita Devi. And in that intense pain, Lord Ramachandra was about to destroy the entire universe. But Lakshman stopped him. So, while being in the forests of Dandakaranya, or whatever, these forests, plus Kishkinda, Lord Ramachandra is absorbed in feelings of separation from Sita Devi. While sitting in Lanka, Sita Devi is absorbed in feelings of separation from Lord Ramachandra. Right? Prabhupada writes in the 5th canto, 19th chapter, I think 5th or 6th purport, Prabhupada writes. On one level, there is separation between Ram and Sita Devi, but on a deeper spiritual plane, Sita Devi and Ram were experiencing Vipralambha Rasa. Vipralambha Rasa is love experienced in a situation of separation. When the lover and the beloved are separated from each other, their remembrance of each other becomes very condensed, very intense. And in that intense emotions, their love for each other becomes very ecstatic, and their remembrance of each other becomes very deep, and that actually brings them closer to each other. They are in deeper union with each other while physically separated from each other. This is called Vipralambha Rasa. Love of God is experienced in two ways, Vipralambha and Sambhoga, the joy of union and the pain of separation. So there are some pastimes that depict the joy of union between the Lord and His beloved, and there are some pastimes that depict the pain of separation between the Lord and beloved. So these feelings are very much depicted in Ramayana also, in Srimad Bhagavatam also, in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Right? So now a sadhaka, as I said some time back, a sadhaka is actually separated from Krishna. Conditioned soul is separated from Krishna. When that conditioned soul takes to the process of sadhana bhakti, then what happens is slowly the conditioned soul is trying to connect with Krishna through various different elements of sadhana. What are the elements? Ravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, all this. So through all these elements like chanting the holy names of the Lord, through the process of worshipping the Lord, through hearing Harikatha, the conditioned soul is slowly cultivating a bonding with Krishna. And eventually, when that bonding with Krishna becomes very, very intense and condensed, when they develop the deep bonding with Krishna, they attain Krishna Prema. There, at that stage, they will be able to experience feelings of separation from Krishna. Real feelings of separation, right? Love is not measured in all these kilometers or millimeters or grams or gigabytes or megabytes. Love is measured by the amount of separation one feels for the beloved. The more we miss another person, the more we love that person. The more we are remembering them in their absence, the more we are loving them. So love is characterized by, or love is measured by the amount of separation one feels for the beloved. So to be able to come to that stage of feelings of separation for the Lord, one needs to first cultivate a connection with the elements of sadhana, and then feel a sense of separation from these elements of sadhana whenever we miss them. We are supposed to cultivate bonding with Krishna through hearing and chanting. Whenever we miss hearing one day, when we miss chanting one day, when we miss attending Bhagavatam class one day, when we miss reading Bhagavatam one day, when we miss chanting with devotees one day, when we miss the darshan of the deities one day, we should miss them. We should actually feel separation from them. That's how we will be able to appreciate that feelings of separation, real feelings of separation. The whole purpose of Bhakti Yoga is to come from this separated state to that separated state. You are able to understand this? Getting too deep? So conditioned soul is in separation from the Lord because of forgetfulness. Pure devotees are in separation from the Lord because of remembrance. So we need to come from this feeling of separation to that feeling, this situation of separation to that situation of separation. So here, when we forget Krishna, we don't even realize that we are in separation from Him, because we forgot. But there, whenever they are away from Krishna, they are absorbed in intense feelings of separation. When Uddhava came with this letter to read in front of all these gopis, then Srimati Radharani sees a bee, a bumblebee, and imagines that bee to be a messenger of Krishna, and sometimes imagines that bee to be Krishna himself. and starts chastising that bee. This is called Brahmara Gita, which is extremely esoteric, more esoteric than Ras Leela probably. So we'll not get into that. But she becomes ecstatic in her feelings of separation from Krishna, seeing that bee. Then Uddhava witnesses this intensity of love that the gopis manifested, and he feels that I am not a devotee only. They are devotees. I need their dust to develop some devotion. And he says, Asamaho charanarenu jushamaham syam vrindavane kimapi gulmalataushadhinam yadustyajam swajanamarya patham chahitva bhejurmrukunda padavim srutibhirvimrugyam Asamaho charanarenu jushamaham syam. I just want the dust from the lotus feet of all these gopis. As a prince of Mathura, if I go to them and ask, can you please give dust from your lotus feet, they will not give. So I have an idea. What is that? I'll become a blade of grass in Vrindavan. Then these gopis will walk on that grass, and that's how they will give their dust to me. If I'm not qualified to become a blade of grass in Vrindavan, at least let me become a blade of grass in the outskirts of Vrindavan, so that once in a while when the gopis step out for a moment, then I will get their dust. This is the aspiration of Uddhava. Uddhava is not aspiring to become a gopi and dance in Raslila with Krishna. Uddhava is aspiring to become a blade of grass to get the dust from their lotus feet, so that he can develop a grain of devotion like them. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, first, you imbibe these qualities of Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sada Harihi. First, develop humility more than a blade of grass. First, become more tolerant than a tree. Prabhupada says, not just humility more than a blade of grass. Be humbler than a straw on the street, not even blade of grass. Because blade of grass is grounded. It is still connected to the ground. It is still green. It has a possibility to grow. When you step on it, it can again, when you step on it, it will become humble. When you remove your leg, remove your foot, again it will stand up. Right? At least that possibility is there for a blade of grass. But straw on the street, insignificant. No possibility to grow. Therefore, Prabhupada says, become humbler than a straw on the street, not blade of grass also. It's not like Trinadiva Sunichena. It is Trinadapi Sunichena. That is Mahaprabhu's standard. And Prabhupada says, humbler than a straw on the street, not just a blade of grass. So to this degree, if we can develop Vaishnava character, of respecting everyone, not expecting respect from anyone, and developing humility and developing tolerance, and doing our sadhana sincerely, our Sravanam and Kirtanam sincerely, and developing feelings of separation from the elements of sadhana, then one day we'll be able to come to this level of real feelings of separation experienced by Radha for Krishna. Right? They are at a different plane. First, let us feel separation from Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. So, sometimes when we miss chanting session, if you don't even feel, not a big deal, I can chant on my own. When we miss a Bhagavatam class, it's okay, no problem. One day Bhagavatam class, if you miss, what a big deal. 1 month, 1 full month, we have not read Bhagavatam, read Bhagavad Gita or any scripture, no class, no Sravanam. If you don't feel a pinch because of that, then where is the possibility of developing Krishna Prema? Where is the possibility of developing Viraha Bhava, Vipralamba Bhava? Where is that? And where is this? So, that's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had spent so much time in giving his teachings to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So occasionally when we are celebrating such pastimes, we need to understand the divinity of the pastime. We need to understand the soul's potential to cultivate that love for Krishna, loving bonding with Krishna. And we can actually appreciate these exalted feelings, but to reach there, we need to come back to basics. Sravanam Kirtanam. These are our basics that eventually take us to that level. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us access to Krishna Nam, Krishna Prem, Vrindavan Dham, Srimati Radharani. 4 things. You remember the first shloka that I was discussing? Prema namadbhutarthaha Shravana pathagataha kasya namna mahimnaha Koveta kasya vrinda vanavipinamaha madhurishu pravesha. So, first Krishna Nam, then eventually we'll develop Krishna Prem. Then we can actually relish Vrindavan Dham. Then we can really appreciate the position of Srimati Radharani. If we neglect Nam, if we assume we have Prem, and we want to enter Dham, Vrindavan Dham, and we start discussing about Radharani, that is probably Sahajiyism. Right? We are not here to become Sahajiya. Getting right? There are 4 gifts Mahaprabhu has given. Nama, Prema, Dhama, and Radharani. So these 4 gifts, there is a progression there. Yeah? We cannot directly jump to Radharani and discuss about Radharani. And of course, Radhashtami Day you can discuss. Occasionally we can discuss. But when we discuss very, very high level subject matters without having sufficient qualification or purification, we may consciously or unconsciously think or assume that we are on that level. That is called Sahajiya. Right? To assume, to think that I am on that level. Right? But Mahaprabhu taught us how to be humble, how to respect devotees. When Jagadananda Pandit gave an advice to Sanatana Goswami, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that he is a small boy kind of person, and Sanatana Goswami is very exalted. He can even advise me. How can Jagadananda Pandit advise Sanatana Goswami? And Mahaprabhu showed great restraint when devotees are requesting him. Stalwart devotees are requesting him to meet Pratapadra Maharaj. Mahaprabhu is hesitating. Ramananda Rai requested. Who can be dearer to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu than Ramananda Rai? Nityananda Prabhu requested. Swarupa Damodar Goswami requested. Then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya requested. So when all these exalted stalwart devotees are requesting Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please go and meet Pratapadra Maharaj, please. We will bring him here. Mahaprabhu says, no. Why? Nishkinchanasya bhagavad bhajanonmukhasya paramparam jigimisho bhavasagarasya sandarshinam vishayinam atha yoshitam cha ha hanta vishabhakshanatopya sadhu. So I cannot meet Vishayi or Yoshita. For a sannyasi to meet the opposite gender and to have intimate connections with the opposite gender, and also for a sannyasi to meet very wealthy people and those are too much absorbed in politics and money. So that is like eating poison. He says that. Of course, for pure purposes, with the right motivation, sometimes exalted devotees will connect with very big people, influential people, for the purpose of expansion of the movement, but with a caution note, right? So that is also there. But he exhibited that level of detachment and reservations in doing some things which are not conventional for a devotee. So first we need to adopt these principles. So when you speak mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one thing is he is absorbed in the mood of Srimati Radharani and Rath Yatra, and in the last few years of his manifest pastimes at Jagannath Puri. But another aspect of Mahaprabhu's mood is absorption in sadhana and cultivating the Vaishnava character in the form of humility, tolerance, respect, and freedom from false prestige. Tranadapi sunichena tarorapi saishnuna na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. And sincerely chanting the holy names of Krishna, developing taste for the Naam of Krishna, then Dham will come automatically. Naam will give us entrance into Dham and Prem and Srimati Radharani and this Viraha Bhava, real Viraha Bhava. But first we need to have that Viraha towards sadhana, to the various elements of sadhana, right? So these are some very profound teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. In Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has been very, very strict with devotees. Some devotees who may be getting distracted in their sadhana or in their devotional standards. Mahaprabhu showed a lot of strictness, whether it is Chota Haridas or Kala Krishna Das or Gopinath Patnaik. Gopinath Patnaik was having some Jai Shri Shri Radha Neel Madhav ki Jai. Gopinath Patnaik misappropriated government's money. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very furious. I will not support him. I will not endorse his mistake. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was strict with Kala Krishna Das. He left me and went to Bhattataris. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very, very strict with Chota Haridas. Chota Haridas was lustfully glancing on a young woman when he came to beg some rice. So Mahaprabhu was disapproving all this. So while in Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu did not only get absorbed in mood of Radharani and exhibit Radha Bhav. That is there. That's one aspect of his mood. But another aspect of his mood is he is showing strictness in social behavior, strictness in sadhana, strictness in one's conduct, and sincerity in one's devotional practices. So we need to accept both moods. So sometimes we go into this side, without qualification we become sahajiya. Sometimes we get into this side too much of strictness, we may become hard-hearted also. So there is a discipline aspect also, there is devotion aspect also. But imaginary devotion without discipline will make us sahajiya. And too much of discipline without actual emotion there, that will make us hard-hearted. Mahaprabhu's mood is a balance. It's a proper balance between both, right? So Mahaprabhu said, don't eat so much, don't dress yourself so opulently. But Gundicha Marjande or Beda Kirtan times, Mahaprabhu will feed devotees 5 times more than they can eat. Once in a while is fine. But on a regular basis, do this also. So while in Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu gave instructions to Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and many other great exalted devotees. Based on the instructions, these devotees wrote so many books also. Mahaprabhu said, Rupa Goswami writes, Tunde Tandavani Irtam Vitanute Tundavali Labdhaye. So Mahaprabhu emphasizes on the importance of holy name. And Mahaprabhu is spending so much time with Haridas Thakur practically every day. After attending Aarti in Jagannath Puri temple, Mahaprabhu goes to our Haridas Thakur's hut and has long discussion with Haridas Thakur about holy name and some Krishna Katha. And one day, who's that? Pradyumna Mishra, he comes to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I want to hear Krishna Katha, he says. He says, go to Ramanadar and hear Krishna Katha there. So Mahaprabhu emphasized on the importance of hearing Krishna Katha. So these are like Mahaprabhu, when he's giving instructions, he is highlighting the importance of sadhana in connection with the external reasons for his descent. And he's also discussing very deep esoteric pastimes of Radha Krishna with Sarup Damodar Goswami and Ramanand Rai, experiencing the internal reasons for his descent. So Mahaprabhu's pastimes can be seen from these two perspectives. So let us just take shelter of the holy names of Krishna and developing that Vaishnava character as Mahaprabhu taught in Sikshashtakam and in his dealings with many other devotees. And then we can have a blissful Jagannath Ratha Yatra. We can sing Jagannath Ashtakam, right? And discuss its meaning very briefly. Next, 20-25 minutes before we wind up. Someone can play. Yeah, you can keep there also. Devotees can see. Project is there? Okay. You can keep somewhere. I can see from a distance also. Not an issue. You can sit and that is all sufficient. Kadachit kalindi tatavi pina sangita karavo. कदाचित् कालिन्दीतटविपिन सङ्गीतकरवो मुदाभिरीनारीवदन कमलस्वदमधुप रमा शम्भो ब्रह्मावरपति गणेशार्चितपदो जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पथगामी भवतु मे In this shloka we saw Kadachit Kalindi Tata. Kalindi refers to Yamuna Devi, Yamuna river. So sometimes Lord Krishna on the banks of Yamuna, he plays his flute and creates a great musical performance. And in the second line, he is compared to a bumblebee. Muda bhiri nari vadana kamala swada madhupa. He's like a madhupa. And this nari means all the gopis of Vrindavan, they have faces like lotuses. And Krishna is like a bumblebee. Just like bumblebee or a honeybee is attracted to the honey in the lotuses, Krishna is attracted to the beautiful faces of all the gopis of Vrindavan and Srimati Radharani. That's what in the second line it says. Rama Shambho Brahma Marapati Ganesharchita Pado. Rama means goddess of Lakshmi. Shambhu means Lord Shiva. Amarapati is Indra. So all these people, go back. He's doing some pastimes there. So all these people, Rama, Shambhu, Brahma, Amarapati, Archita Pado, they are doing Archana. They are worshipping the lotus feet of Jagannathji, right? So that is the meaning of the first shloka. First two shlokas of this Ashtakam describe Krishna. Next two shlokas we'll come and see. Bhuje savye vedum shirashi shikhi picham katitate. Dukulam netrante sahachara kataksham vidadhate. Sada Srimad Vrindavana Vasati Lila Parichayo. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. Bhuje savye venum shirashi sikhi picham katitate. Bhuje savye venum. He is holding a flute in his hands. Shirashi Shikhi Picham. And on his head he is wearing a resplendent, shining rainbow like peacock feather. Katitate Dukulam. And also he has a waist belt. I think one of the Vaishnava scriptures say that Krishna wears a yellow dhoti. Generally he wears a reddish waist belt, waist cloth. Right? Dukulam Netrante Sahachara Kataksham Vidadhate. So, in this beautiful attire, as he's walking in the streets of Vrindavan, he is showering his loving, merciful glances on his associates, like the Gopas and Gopis. Then, Sada Srimad Vrindavana Vasati Lila Parichayo. He's constantly residing in the Dham of Vrindavan and giving us so much of bliss by performing enchanting pastimes there. Just like Satyavratamani also says, Iti Driksva Leelabhir. That I'm getting into Jagannathashtakam. Iti Driksva Leelabhir Ananda Kunde Swaghosham Nimajjantam Akhyapayantam. So he performs great pastimes in Vrindavan and gives so much bliss to all the devotees. So these two shlokas describe Jagannathji as Krishna himself, Krishna in Vrindavan. Sometimes when Mahaprabhu goes to take darshan of Jagannathji, standing next to Garuda Stambha, he sees Jagannathji as Krishna standing in a threefold form playing Venu. There's a BBT painting also you can see. This comes somewhere in the Antya Leela. Now, after describing Krishna's pastimes in the first two shlokas, the song will describe the manifestation of Jagannathji in the next two shlokas. Maham bodhe stire kanaka ruchire nila shikhare. Maham bodhe stire kanaka ruchire nila shikhare. Vasan prasadanta sahaja bala bhadrena balina. Subhadra madhyastha sakala sura seva vasarado. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu me. Mahambodhe Stira. Mahaambodhi is this ocean. On the bank of this ocean, there is Niladri. There is a great bluish mountain. Mahambodhe Stire Kanaka Ruchire Nila Shikhare. On the this is blue mountain with a golden hue. On top of this blue mountain, on the bank of this ocean, Vasan, the Lord resides in the form of Jagannathji. Vasan prasadanta. So he is showering his merciful glances upon all his devotees by residing on the top of this Nilachal mountain. And his eyes are so big, so he can glance so nicely. He can glance on all of us with so much of affection. And only in Jagannath Puri, the main deities come out of the altar to glance on all the people, lakhs of people who come there and drown them in the showers of his nectarian merciful glances. And Sahaja Bala Bhadrena Balina. Along with him, Sahaja means one who is born together, that is like a brother. Sahaja Bala Bhadrena Balina. So Jagannathji is there, along with him, Balabhadra is also there. Who else is there? Subhadra is there. Where is she? Between both of them. Subhadra madhyastha sakala sura seva vasarado. So with Jagannathji next to him, with Subhadra between these two brothers, this Jagannathji is receiving Subhadra madhyastha sakala sura seva avasarado. Means he is giving an opportunity to all the devatas to come and serve him by manifesting himself in these forms on the bank of this ocean. So Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu me. May that Jagannath ji be the object of my vision. Next, fourth shloka is also about Jagannath ji only. Kripa paravarasa jala jalada shreni ruchiro. Kripa paravarasa jala jalada shreni ruchiro. Ramavani Rama Sphuradamala Panke Ruhamukha. Surendra Radhya Shruti Gana Sikha Gita Charito. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. Kripa paravarasa jala jalada shreni ruchiro. So while manifesting himself in the form of this Jagannathji with big eyes, Kripa paravaraha sa jala jalada means the Kripa, the mercy of Jagannathji is flowing like a cloud bank of nectar, right? Jalada means that which holds water. So just like clouds pour rains, right? Showers of rain. Similarly, Lord Jagannath ji is also pouring showers of his mercy. Rama Vani Rama Spurada Mala Pankhe Ruhamukha. Rama is Lakshmi Devi. Vani means Saraswati Devi. Ramavani Rama means he is giving so much of pleasure to goddess of wealth and goddess of learning both, right? And Spuradamala Pankhe Ruhamukha, and his beautiful face is like a freshly blossomed lotus. Pankhe Ruha means that which is born out of mud, which is lotus. So Jagannath's face is like that lotus. Then Surendra Radhya Shruti Gana Sikha Gita Charito. Surendra Aradhya, even the king of all the devatas also, he does Aradhana of Jagannath ji. And Shruti Gana Sikha Gita Charito means even Shrutis, personified Vedas also glorify the pure nectarian pastimes of Jagannath ji. Right? Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. First two shlokas about Krishna in Vrindavan. Next shloka is about Krishna as Jagannath ji in Orissa, in Jagannath Puri. Then fifth shloka about Rath Yatra. Ratha Rudho Gachan Pathi Milita Bhudeva Patalai. Ratharudho gachan pathi milita bhudeva patalai. Stuti pradurbhavam pratipadamupakarnya sadaya. Daya Sindhur Bandhu Sakala Jagatam Sindhu Sutaya. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. Ratha Arudho Gachan Pati. He got on his chariot, great chariot. Gachan Pati. He's just, the chariot is moving in the streets of Jagannath Puri. Milita Bhudeva Patalaihi. Bhudeva refers to Brahmanas. They are like the Devatas on this earthly planet. So these people, Brahmanas, stand on either side of Ratha and they start glorifying the Lord by quoting some Vedic mantras. Stuti pradur bhavam pratipadam upakaranya sadaya. So as Jagannathji Sadayaha, with so much of mercy, he is showering his merciful glances upon all these devotees. So many Brahmanas are gathering together and glorifying him. Then Daya Sindhur Bandhu Sakala Jagatam Sindhu Sutaya. He is Daya Sindhu. He is an ocean of compassion. And Sakala, this Sindhu Suta, Sindhu Kanya, Sindhu Suta, Sagar Kanya refers to the daughter of the ocean god, which is Lakshmi Devi. So Jagannathji's consort is Lakshmi Devi. So may that Jagannathji along with Lakshmi Devi be the object of my vision. 6th shloka. Para Brahma Pida Kuvala Yadalotfulla Nayano. Nivasi Niladro Nihita Charano Nanta Shirasi. Rasanando Radha Sarasava Pura Lingana Sukho. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu Me. Parabrahma Pida Kuvalaya Dalutfulla Nayanu. Kuvala Dala Utfulla Nayanu. So the eyes of Jagannathji are as sweet and as beautiful as petals of lotus, right? So he is considered the ornament of Brahma's head. Parabrahma Pida Kuvalaya Dalutfulla Nayanu. Nivasi Niladro Nihita Charano Nanta Sirasi. Nivasi Niladro, he is staying in Niladri, Nilachal. And Nihita Charano Ananta Sirasi. So Nihita Charano means the lotus feet of Jagannathji are certainly held upon the head of Anantadev. So Jagannathji is like an ornament for Brahma's head. And Jagannathji's feet are there on the hoots of Anantadev. Then Rasanando Radha Sarasa Vapura Lingana Sukho. Rasa Anando. The Jagannathji is experiencing so much of rasa, Ananda, in the association of Srimati Radharani. Sarasa Vapura Lingana Sukho means he is taking so much of pleasure in his association with Srimati Radharani. May that Jagannathji be the object of my vision. So, after describing Jagannathji and his Ratha Yatra and how he blesses different devatas in the 5th and 6th shlokas, the last 2 shlokas describe the desires of a devotee. What is my aspiration? Okay, we glorified Krishna in Vrindavan. Krishna is Jagannathji in Puri and his Ratha Yatra. So, what are we aspiring for from him? By worshipping him, by pulling his rath. Last 2 shlokas say. Navai yache rajyam na chaka naka madikya vibhavam. Navai yache rajyam na chaka naka madikya vibhavam. Naya cheham ramyam sakala janakamyam varavadhu. Sada kale kale pramathapatina gita charito. Jagannath Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu me. Navayache Rajyam. Yachana means to beg. Many people come to the Lord and they beg money. Some are artharthis, some are relief seekers, some are wealth seekers, some are seekers of many other material privileges in this material world. But here the devotee says, Navayache Rajyam Nachaka Nakamadikya Vibhavam. Navayache, I am not aspiring for Rajyam. I don't want Rajyam, big kingdom. Kanaka, you want gold? No, I don't want gold. Manikya Vibhavam, you want the opulence of some precious gems, jewels? No, we don't want that. Then, Naya cheham ramyam sakala janakamyam varavadhum. Varavadhu means a beautiful bride, beautiful spouse. Many people ask for it. See, sakala janakamyam means everybody is aspiring for a beautiful spouse, but I don't want. He says, Navayache ramyam. I don't want any association with the beautiful form of the opposite gender, which is aspired for by so many people. I don't want that. Then what else you want? Sada kale kale pramathapatina gita charito. For all time to come, let me just be absorbed in the glorification of your holy names, your holy pastimes. Sada kale kala pramathapatina gita charito. Pramathapati is Shiva. He is the master of all Pramatha Ganas, right? Pramathapatina gita charito. So even Lord Shiva also glorifies you. You see, 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 24th chapter, you see Lord Shiva is glorifying the Lord in Rudra Gita. So even Shiva glorifies you. I just want to glorify you. So this is the aspiration of a great devotee. They don't want any privilege in this entire material creation. Just like Vritrasura says, the Kaliya wives also say, Nanaka prishtham na cha parameshtham na sarva bhaumam na rasadhipatyam na yoga siddhir apunar bhavam va samanjasatva virahaya kankshi. We should also express what we don't want while expressing what we want. So do's and don'ts both are important. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam. This is somewhat similar to that. So let us always be absorbed in the glories of the Lord. So we need to glorify the Lord, and we need to also take pleasure when others are glorifying the Lord. That's what Kunti Maharani says. Srinvanti gayanti grananti abhikshasaha smaranti nandanti tavehitam janaha tayeva pashyantya chirena tavakam bhava pravaho paramam padambujam. So we need to glorify the Lord, but we should also take pleasure when others are glorifying the Lord. So he says, I want to sada kale kale pramathapatina gita charito. So I just want to glorify you. Last sloka. Haratvam samsaram drutataram surapate. Haratvam samsaram drutataram surapate. Haratvam papanam vitatim aparam yadavapate. Aho dinena the nihita charano nishchitamidam. Jagannatha Swami Nayana Pathagami Bhavatu me. Haratvam. So the Lord will steal everything. Haratvam samsaram drutataram surapate. O Lord, for those who surrender unto your lotus feet, you completely destroy their absorption in the material existence. Haratvam samsaram. Your samsara is destroyed when we take shelter of the Lord. Haratvam papanam vitatima param yadavapate. Although papa, the sinful reactions of a living entity are so vast, like an ocean, the Lord will completely vanquish that ocean or dry up that ocean of sinful reactions. So finally he says, Aho dinena the nihita charano nishchitamidam. O Dinanatha, Nihita, certainly I take shelter of your lotus feet. Charano, Nihita Charano, Nishchitamidam. So definitely I am a soul surrender unto your lotus feet. Please remove this samsara. Please remove these sinful reactions. I don't want any material privileges. All I want to is be absorbed in your glories. Right? So with this, he concludes. So when we get into the mood of singing these prayers to Lord Jagannath Ji or any other form of the Lord that brings us close to the Lord, when we are just singing it as a musical performance, then we may not be able to take full benefit of it. Right? Even that also is good. Sanketyam parihasyam vastavam hiranameva. But when we actually know the meaning of these prayers and try to understand the meaning and sing those prayers with that feeling, then we will be able to enter deep into that emotion and connect with the Lord. And that's how we come from this separation to that separation. We discussed two types of separation, right? The separation of a conditioned soul characterized by his forgetfulness, and the separation experienced by pure devotees characterized by their intense remembrance of Krishna. So we need to make this transition. The whole process of Bhakti Yoga is to come from this situation of separation to that situation of separation. So with this, I'll conclude. Thank you very much. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions or comments? Radhe. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I had a question. Thank you Prabhu for wonderfully describing. So my question is based on the living entity, like you said, there are two different platforms. One is in forgetfulness, but Krishna, on the spiritual level, it is remembrance for the living entity to Lord Krishna. So I was thinking about, like on Sunday we have Rath Yatra, so what should we pray? So then I got the answer that last two verses of. Is there anything you would like to add for us?
Enough, we discussed 1.5 hours. There is much more we can discuss, but we can add so many. We have a couple of more days to add, but this. Anything specific you want to ask? Yeah. We should feel grateful for the opportunity to participate in a festival. The 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam says, Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga Nasadhavo Bhagavatashtadashraya Nayatra Yagnesha Makha Mahotsava Suresha Loko Pinavaisa Sevyatam. Nayatra Vaikuntha Katha Sudhapaga means the place where Krishna Katha is not happening. Na Sadhavo Bhagavatashtadashraya, the place where devotees who have taken shelter of the nectarian river of Krishna Katha are not existing. Third, Nayatra Yagnesha Makha Mahotsava, the place where festivals are not conducted, Vaishnava festivals are not conducted, that place is not worth living, even if it is the abode of the king of all devatas. It is better to be packed in the airtight womb of a mother instead of coming out to stay in a place where there is no Harikatha and Vaishnava Sangha and Vaishnava festivals. So the place where some Harikatha is happening, the place where devotees are gathering to hear that Harikatha, and the place where beautiful festivals are happening, that's a wonderful place. And that's what the Seattle Temple Hall is. So we're discussing Harikatha for last 1.5 hours, and devotees are making preparations for Rath Yatra there. So many garlands are being made. Initial, I think half an hour went in preparations only. I was a little in a different world. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Punjab Ram Jai Shri Prabhupada. Yeah, my question is that everybody means we know about almost Krishna. Now we also start to know about the Mahaprabhu. But how we feel about Jagannath, how we is a god of moksha, and how we feel connection with Jagannath. You said that someone is mentioned as like a Krishna, but Jagannath don't do Leela, I think. So how we connect with Jagannath, Jagannath's Leela, how we feel?
Jagannath ji does so many Leelas. There is a big book written by Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj about Jagannath ji's Leelas. You can go through that. But the biggest Leela Jagannath ji does is to come out of his temple and give us the darshan. Right? And another Leela is to have this heartfelt conversation with Mahaprabhu. So Jagannath, see, Vrindavan Dham is Madhurya Dham. Then Mayapur is Audarya Dham. Then Dwaraka is Aishwarya Dham. And Jagannath Puri is Viraha Dham, Viraha Kshetra. It's a place where Mahaprabhu and Jagannath ji both are absorbed in feelings of separation. Krishna, as we discussed in the class also a couple of times.
That's why Jagannath physical appearance is like that, circle, rect square, like that.
Because Krishna, when he became absorbed in separation from Radharani and all the Vrajavasis, he manifested the form of Jagannath ji. While intensely remembering all the Vrajavasis and Radharani, his eyes became big, his smile became big, his bodily limbs just got shrunk into his body, and that's how he manifested Jagannath ji's form. Right? It's a Viraha.
Prabhuji, Mayapur is
So Jagannath Puri Dham has all these flavors. So Dwaraka Krishna is Jagannath ji's form. Dwaraka Krishna, who is absorbed in feelings of separation from Radharani, is Jagannath ji. That form is there in Jagannath Puri. And from Mayapur, Mahaprabhu came here. Mahaprabhu came to Jagannath Puri. And from Vrindavan, Srimati Radharani also came to Jagannath Puri. Means Mahaprabhu is none different from Radharani, right? Thus, in Puri Dham, Jagannath, Dwaraka, then Vrindavan and Mayapur, all of them are there. All three dhams are there at Jagannath Puri, in one sense. Okay, thank you. Any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. In the first part where you were sharing the story about Krishna leaving for Dwaraka from Vrindavan and how Radharani felt the separation from Krishna, and Krishna was feeling the same separation for Radharani. I couldn't stop from questioning like why Krishna is almighty, like he doesn't need to feel the separation if he needs. Like during Rasalila, he was with every gopi at once, and he was with Radharani as well. Like he could be the same with Radharani while he was in Dwaraka. So what was the message that Krishna, like this pastime, was giving us on?
What's the purpose? Krishna doesn't need to feel the separation, but he feels the need to experience that feelings of separation. Means, love for the Lord is experienced in two flavors we discussed, Vipralambha and Sambhoga. means the joy of union and the pain of separation. This pain of separation enhances the joy of union. After a brief amount of separation, when the lover and the beloved come together, the joy that they experience is enhanced, right? So we cannot separate feelings of separation from Krishna Prema. So feelings of separation are very much innate, a part of the whole concept of Krishna Prema, whole emotion of Krishna Prema. In fact, even in the presence of Krishna, Srimati Radharani feels separation from Krishna. What will you say about that? That's how Prem Sarovar manifested, you know that, right? So Radha and Krishna are together, and a bumblebee came and making this sound zzz around her face, and Krishna told Madhumangal, please chase this bee away. And Madhumangal chased the bee away and came back and told Krishna, Madhu has gone away, Madhu will never come back. And hearing that, Radharani went into intense feelings of separation. Oh, Madhu has gone away, he'll never come back. Madhu means Krishna in her perspective. She only hears Krishna, whatever word is uttered. And Madhu is another name of Krishna. So in the presence of Krishna, sitting right next to Krishna, Radharani is experiencing intense feelings of separation. She was crying tears of separation from Krishna. Seeing her feelings of separation, Krishna started crying. And the combined tears of Radha and Krishna became Prem Sarovar. So when love for the Lord reaches its epitome, then it becomes intense feelings of separation, where the gopis experience millions of yugas of separation within one eye blink. Within one eye blink. Truti yugayate tvam apashyatam kutila kuntalam shri mukham jate jada udikshatam pakshma krudrisham. Truti yugayate tvam apashyatam. Without seeing you, my dear Lord, one truti means one fraction of a second becomes like a yuga, lakhs of years. That is the extent of separation they feel. Yasya kshana viyogena loko hyapriya darshanaha ukthena rahito yesha mritakaha prochyate yatha. Even one moment of separation from Krishna makes the devotees feel intense pain in that separation, and they feel that all the universes have become void, devoid of life. Yasya kshana viyogena loko hyapriya darshanaha. They see everything in the entire creation very unpleasant and unfavorable because of that separation. You cannot separate this feelings of separation or emotion of separation from Krishna Prema. Prema is measured by the amount of separation we feel for the beloved. Okay. Any other question? Yes, Prabhu. How many questions can we take? It's 9:15. Still sun is setting.
So, Prabhuji, you said that Jagannath's form was like Jagannath formed because Krishna was in deep separation, and his eyes his eyes became big, and then his hands, I guess, his limbs came. The story I heard is that there was like this carver. He said that give me 30 days to carve the roop of Jagannath. No one opens like the door. I'm just gonna do
Okay, that is the deity form. That is the story of manifestation of Jagannath is deity. Right? The deity, how the deities remain unfinished. But the background of that, background for the manifestation of Krishna's deity in that form is this. When Krishna is absorbed in feelings of separation, he manifested Jagannath's form, and that form is carved by this Vishwakarma, the carver, right? And by the Lord's Leela, the deity's carving is not fully finished, it's half finished. That half finished is actually complete, according to the Lord's will. Does it make sense?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, and very grateful to Gaurang Darshan Prabhu for his wonderful session on the mood of Lord Chaitanya and teachings. We could really appreciate preparing our consciousness for our upcoming Radha Yatra. So Prabhu will continue this, and tomorrow we'll have session in Bellevue, VCC Bellevue, at 6:30. It's going to be a little earlier than this. So whoever can join, please join. Yeah, we'll resume tomorrow. Thank you.